Yeah, so in theory, I agree. One way to solve the inequality of married versus single people is to not make that distinction. But culturally, that's so entrenched that it's not going to happen. So what are we going to do now is basically the question, in order to make things as equal as we can.
And some might argue that if your true goal is to get rid of marriage entirely, you should support everything that comes up to allow people to get married. If somebody creates a bill where they want to be able to marry their goldfish, you should support that, because the more ludicrous marriage becomes, the more likely it is that the whole infrastructure could possibly be collapsed. But I don't know. I just, I like being married. Not just for the benefits of it. I generally like being married. I love my wife. I like the things that commitments to other people do. And I hate seeing people who are clearly as in love with their partner as I am with my wife, who would love to be recognized in public, both socially and legally, and who are denied that. I think it's a pretty hateful thing.
Yeah, I do agree that is pretty hateful. Does that also include the polygamy that you're talking about? Because you said the best way to get marriage a non-issue is to legalize as much as possible. Does that include?
Well, yeah, I would say vote for that if that's the goal. My take on polygamy is that we don't necessarily have to go that far. I mean, it's kind of a slippery slope argument that's often made. If you let gay people marry people, be marrying 20 people or their dog and all this other stuff, you can draw a line wherever. And the point is to make sure that we're drawing a line equitably and saying, yeah, you get one person that you get to share this legal benefit rather than your marriage corporation, I think is a reasonable place to draw a line. However, I know and I'm friends with a lot of people who are polyamorous and who are.
That might have been the word I was looking for, but polygamy.
I have no objection to polyamory. You love whoever you want. If it works for you and you're not hurting people and it's among consenting, love everybody. Just be safe. And I love John. Thank you for sitting in with me today. Anyway, thanks for the call.
All right, thanks for hearing me out.
All right. Let's see. Alan in Austin, Texas.
Hi, how are you?
Are you really from Austin? Because we don't even know anybody in Austin anymore.
Yeah, actually, I'm originally from upstate New York, and I just recently moved down to Austin with a job. My family's coming to move down with me once school ends this summer.
You know, you could just sit down right here in the audience and.
Yeah, I was actually trying to find the address to come and watch the show today.
That's what I need to do. Thank you, Alan. I'll let you get to your thing. We only got a couple minutes left, but let me hit this real quick.
Yep.
We haven't done this enough to remind people that if you're in the Austin area, yes, you can actually sit down here in the studio audience. You can over at our blog, freethoughtblogs.com/axp/how to visit the show. There's information up there. It's at the channelaustin.org. It's a public access studio. There's directions there to it. Yeah, it's something we should say more about. What did you have for us, Alan?
I was actually I was justifying why I don't typically tell people that I'm atheist, and I'm working with a technician who's training me, who's from Kansas, and he actually brings up politics and religion all the time, and he quote unquote knows there is a God. And the way I justify it is I can use logic and reason to say that there's no use for wearing clothes other than protection from the elements, but I feel I'm gladly brainwashed into wearing clothes all the time. I'm not a nudist or anything, but I can see their perspective, like a nudist perspective, would be, well, logically, if I'm in an office, it's 70 degrees, I don't need to wear clothes, but we have the social pressures are so strong that we feel shame and we have to wear our clothes. I just find it real difficult to come out, tell somebody that I don't believe there's a God and I don't have any reason to without getting into an argument, and I try avoid it just so I don't want to get into an argument, and I feel I'm insulting somebody so much and hurting their feelings so much where they're going to get angry with me, basically, especially with someone I'm working with, you know.
Yeah, you know, ideally, religion shouldn't come up in the workplace at all, and it's sad that when you're in a minority position that you sometimes have to bite your tongue. They don't have any qualms about sharing their religion.
Right.
And I understand. I think that's something that you need to kind of decide what's in your best interests and, you know, and act accordingly. And sometimes that's just letting it go.
Yeah, and it's come up where the guy I'm talking about from Kansas, he brings it up, and I kind of nod along, and he knows now that I don't believe after we've been together for a long time driving around.
Yeah, there's a risk. I mean, it's one of those things, identifying who you are to other people, there's a risk. There's a risk of losing employment, there's a risk of losing family. They're actually rolling the credits. I got to let you go. But yeah, there's absolutely nothing wrong with not necessarily being out if it's not something you're comfortable with. And you've also convinced me. I guess I'm just going to do the rest of the show naked. So thanks everybody for participating. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Bye-bye.
All right, thank you. Bye.
He didn't mean it, folks.
There wasn't enough left in the show to actually get naked, which was the plan. Thank you.